And welcome back to Square Off. Republican lawmakers at the Capitol have a thing about Florida. If Arizona did elections the way Florida does, most of what these lawmakers perceive as problems would be solved. Really? Florida is the answer? Let's ask Jen Fifield, voting and elections reporter for the nonprofit votebeat.org. She has been immersed in our elections statewide for the last 5 years. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thanks for having me on.
Gotta confess, I have a bias. I can't stand Florida. I have a relative there with a place on the beach. I don't even want to go, but we're going to push on. Why are Republican lawmakers so enthralled by Florida?
Well, they get their results posted very quickly, but also they don't have the tight contests that we have. So that's the main thing. They're looking for faster results here, looking at places that post quickly. They don't realize that Florida is going to have results much quicker just because they don't have as tight races.
They are a safe red state. We are a swing state.
Right, and we have this behemoth of a county trying to count 2 million ballots too, where they have smaller counties that are doing things a lot faster just because they're small.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper into the legislation introduced by Senate President Warren Peterson, introduced the bill to more closely align Arizona and Florida election laws. What would stand out to what kind of changes would stand out to longtime voters here?
So Peterson and a bunch of other lawmakers got on the phone with the Secretary of State there and found out that they cut off their early ballot drop-offs at polling places before Election Day. They don't let you to just bring your ballot to a polling place and drop it off on Election Day. This would allow more time for processing those signatures on the ballots, and so his bill would cut that off and say you have to drive downtown to the county recorder's office if you want to drop that off on Election Day.
And so this year, as I recall, I think there were about 250,000 or so ballots dropped off on Election Day, and those are typically the last ones to be counted.
Yeah, just in Maricopa too. Just in Maricopa. 225,000 just in Maricopa. Other counties are seeing a big increase in this drop-off behavior pattern too.
Is this a change worth making?
Well, it depends on if you care, right? Do you care if we're getting results that night? And if so, this is probably the only change, changing something about it. Maybe you could show your ID when you drop that off instead. That's another bill by J.D. Mesnard this upcoming session that would allow you to count them quicker. You don't have to verify the signatures, but it's still a change for voters.
So that's what this is all about, getting results all the ballots counted election night?
I mean, there's no way to do that. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
In Arizona and anywhere. No one is doing that. It's just how tight our races are. If there's 10,000 signatures questioned that night, the day after, we still have to figure those out forever. You're not going to fix that problem. But you could get most of the results, and we may be able to call races faster.
Maybe call races faster. I think you've pointed out the drawbacks. Katie Hobbs does not like this, number one.
The governor does not like this. She said anything that reduces voting access, makes it harder to vote, she's going to veto, but Republican lawmakers are very hopeful that she's willing to compromise. Maybe they can find another area, maybe school vouchers, something like that, where they can compromise on it.
Okay. This past week, you also posted your list of things you would do if you were running elections. What is at the top of the list that isn't being considered now?
It's not really my list. This is coming from county officials who just had to count 2 million ballots, for example. They want more staffing. They want more machines. They want they want shorter ballots. We had this 2-card ballot where they're now counting double the pieces of paper. So maybe legislators should stop referring so much to the ballot, is what they say.
So that's one thing they could do to shorten the ballot count.
Sure.
Looking ahead to, let's move ahead past the election legislation to this week, Tuesday. The electors are going to cast their votes, the 11 Trump electors. Are we expecting any excitement there?
I am not, and I don't think anyone should. I think that people are happy with who was chosen. The electors are going to vote in line with where they're supposed to.
And also this past week, we saw a farewell from members of the Maricopa County Board. Bill Gates, Clint Hickman, Jack Sellers stepping down. How significant was their role over the last 4 years in protecting our elections?
Truly significant. And I don't think people realized that they could have made much different decisions after the 2020 election to try to protest our election results. And they didn't. And they chose that. And now they're being recognized by some. They're still being called criminals from others who believe they stole the election results somehow.
They really, I've said this before on the show, but they really rose to the occasion in a way maybe few could have expected, and unfortunately few realize that's just the nature of the county board, doesn't get that much attention, but truly, in many cases, unsung heroes.
And they had state lawmaker Paul Boyer there do the prayer for their meeting, who saved them from being arrested for not giving over ballots in 21. So it was kind of a celebration, and I saw it as a celebration for them leaving office and recognition of what they did.
I did not know that. Paul Boyer was there, who cast the vote in the Senate that barred the subpoena, and maybe from them being even put in jail in 2020.
He was the deciding Republican vote that said, do not arrest them for not handing over these ballots.
Memories. All right, Jen Fifield, thank you so much for joining us. Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.